How's it going?
Oh, there we are. How you doing?
Yes, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing okay, man. Look like you putting a little extra time on the beard.
Yeah, I gotta have something to keep myself busy.
What's over your shoulder? Is that Deadpool?
Yeah, got a little life-size Deadpool there.
Nice.
That was a little gift from Chad Kruger on our last tour together in Europe. The end of the tour, he wheels that out on stage. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it had like all these unicorn balloons on it, and it was funny.
Pretty cool.
But yeah. So it's the guardian of my office here.
Well, this is the WRIF Virtual Rock Room. Welcome aboard, Chris Daughtry.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. The band Daughtry with another album coming out. This is just the first single I've heard so far, World on Fire. I understand the record's probably next year, the full.
Yeah, we kind of got behind on the recording schedule when everything shut down. So we had some momentum going like back in January, and then once everything shut down, we had to kind of pull the reins back. But we are actually getting back in the studio next month, so got a lot more work to do. But there's still we got some in the can, but yeah, there's a lot of work to do yet. So
a lot of musicians tend to be creatures of habit, and they sort of like that routine of writing, recording, touring, writing, recording.
Yeah.
In the COVID world, the touring was interrupted. Obviously, it changed everything. I mean, personal life, it changed everything. But did that disruption, did it make it harder to write and record?
When we had World on Fire, we wrote it back in January, myself and my producers, Scott Stevens and Marty Fredrickson. We wrote it back in January before, any of the COVID stuff or the George Floyd stuff or any of that stuff. But there was all kinds of stuff going on then, like Australia was on fire, and there was definitely no shortage of racial injustice and police brutality even then. So a lot of that informed the lyrics, and I had gotten my parts done, and we'd kind of had it, demoed out, so to speak, before getting the band on it. And then we were on lockdown, so we had to, we couldn't get everybody out here to Nashville. And so, we've never recorded this way, where everybody did their parts at home in their respective spaces. And it came back, and it was incredible. And we've done that now for 2 of the singles for the record. And it certainly leaves a lot to be desired on our part, of just feeling like we're a part of the process together, and the camaraderie in the room. But it worked out. It was great that we had that option. But as far as like, being inspired to write and sit down and, pick up a guitar, I feel like I'm in this mode of collecting, where I'm collecting information from the ether, and getting lyrical ammunition, so to speak, and I think when all this is over, I've been like recording little snippets here and there. I'll come up with late at night or whatever, and I'll record it on my phone, and then that has been like how a lot of these song starts have happened. So if anything, I'm kind of gathering stuff for when we get back in the studio, and there'll be plenty to write about. Obviously, there's no shortage of bullshit going on, So as far as just sitting down and writing a song, I haven't really done that yet, but I feel like it's going to make it even better of a process when we get back in. Sorry for the long-winded answer.
Yeah. They say tough times is really good for art.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times, once an artist sort of makes it, their lifestyle gets pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'm generalizing, obviously.
No,
it becomes a little harder to connect with people. But what we're going through now has, nothing to do with that. There's difficulties all over the world.
It has forced.
Cool.
Sorry.
Come on.
It broke up on the last part. What was that?
Just the world we live in has to be a really cool source to mine right now.
Yeah, it has definitely, speaking solely from my experience, it's forced a look at my own identity, in this world of celebrity or rock star or whatever, and being on the road and always, like I haven't been home this long in 14 years, and I had to almost kind of learn how to be a husband and father again, and it's really forced me to look at a lot of deeper things and things on a deeper level, and connection to people and connection to our fans and connection with my family. And in that, like, I'm kind of, there's a part of me that's kind of grateful I was forced to have to, turn it off for a bit and reassess things that maybe I haven't dealt with in years. You know what I mean? So it's kind of been cathartic.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I want to talk a little bit about songwriting because it's such a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had the opportunity to write with a lot of different people. And there's a couple of different ways to approach that. There's one of I'm just assisting, which means taking their ideas.
Yeah.
And the other one is to get a little more raw and a little more personal. And it probably varies depending on who you're writing with. But that's a pretty unique experience, whether it's, Sean Morgan or, the guys in Seven Dust a long time ago when you with them. I don't know if you co-wrote or were, arranging or what, but you get yourself in some pretty interesting situations.
I've experienced every one of those situations. I've experienced walking in where a song was pretty much, we got the chorus and let's see if we can come up with some verses together, or we have a title and let's see what we come up. And I've had with this experience, with this new record, it's just been, everything has been from scratch. There has been like, everything feels like we're creating it organically. And for me, there's really nothing wrong with either process if you connect to it. But it is interesting how there's so many different approaches to get to a great song. And I don't really think there's a right or wrong way to do it, but I do enjoy it more when I'm involved from the ground up.
Yeah.
And as far as the Seven Dust thing, that was a song that Lejean sent to me that Morgan, I think, and the guys had written all but the bridge, and I had this bridge idea, and so it wasn't even like, it was something that I came in pretty much when the song was done, but it was still a lot of fun just to collaborate and be in that process with those guys that I look up to. And obviously they just launched a new record today, right?
Yeah.
Congrats to those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you bet. I'm going to be a little bit of an American music snob.
Sure.
It's just who I am. All I can be is me, right? All we can be is on.
Absolutely.
I spent the first few years sort of avoiding your music because I almost felt like you won the lottery. You didn't earn your money. You won it on a game show. And that was unfair.
Right.
But I wonder if other music fans have ever expressed that to you, that just going the American Idol route, it almost didn't feel like you paid your dues. And
I think a lot of people, what they don't realize is I was playing in clubs from the time I was like 17, 18 years old. So I had already done like 10 years of homework before, and getting rejected and playing for the guest list, and even people I worked with, I was basically begging them to come see me. And then it turned around where they were begging me for tickets. So it's one of those things that a lot of people didn't see that because of how it was portrayed. And fair enough, it's easy to make assumptions. I myself there was a part of me that didn't even want to do the show because that's not how my idols made it. That's not how Prince would have done it. That's not how Led Zeppelin did it. That's not how Live did it. They fucking, started in kindergarten and grew up together. And like, that's how you make it in the rock world. And so there was a part of me that was super against it from the very beginning. And I got sick of spinning wheels. I got kind of, this was in a time before YouTube was a huge tool for getting your music out there, or even Instagram for that matter. And we had MySpace, you know what I mean? That was the extent of our reach. And it was not a very easy thing for me to get in front of record labels, and just the lack of access. And so I got tired of spinning wheels, and I was like, really, what's it going to hurt me? And it ended up being the path that worked for me. Had I done it a year later or a year before, maybe it wouldn't have happened. So I'm one of those people that I believe that the universe works and gives you what you put out there. And it just happened to be the route that worked out for me. When people ask me, like, do you recommend new artists doing the same route you did? I'm like, I can't really make that decision for you. I say kick as many doors down as possible, and the one that works will, be obvious and present itself to you. And if it doesn't work, you keep kicking indoors, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to it, but there's certainly that part of me that's always like, I didn't make it like those guys made it, I like when I'm watching Running Down a Dream, the documentary, and I'm seeing how Tom Petty gets a record deal, and I'm like, damn it, I want to do it all over again just so I can feel that, that's such a cool story.
Al Pitrelli once said to me, and this just stuck with me, and I've repeated it way too many times, but quote unquote luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Opportunity happens all the time, and people aren't prepared. And sometimes you're prepared and you just don't find the opportunity. Exactly. And what I'm hearing you ultimately say is, when that weird opportunity came, you were prepared.
Exactly. Yeah. I had stage experience. I wasn't just someone who sang in the shower or sang in the church choir. I was writing songs. I was, if anything, it was slightly uncomfortable because now I didn't have a band behind me that I was used to playing around and my guitar. And so that was kind of new territory for me, just being a front man and quote unquote kind of solo artist. It felt a little awkward for me. So I had to get used to that.
Well, before we circle back around to World on Fire.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really opened my heart to you was seeing your love for the comic books, seeing your drawings. And then I kind of pieced together, oh, okay, this isn't a singer. This is an artist. This guy is a songwriter who draws, who expresses himself, in so many different ways with different people. And it just changed my perspective, right?
Oh, thank you. Oh, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
Because, to me, art is always just about trying to connect a human emotion to whatever the thing is, whether it's a book or an acting role or, maybe your new song. You're just trying to connect an emotion to other human beings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like this record is, so far, the stuff that we've come up with has just felt so timely. It's felt real. It's felt like we're saying something, and I'm excited to be back in the rock format. It feels like home to me, and doing things differently and independently has opened up just the opportunity to fully express what I've been wanting to put out there for a very long time. So, and it's taken life to kind of get to this point as well. It feels like we're doing something really important, and I feel like the fans are giving us incredible feedback so far, and it feels legit. It feels like they're I've seen a lot of comments where they're like, oh my God, it feels like you guys, or this is what we've been wanting to see from you guys for years. Thank God, so it feels good. It feels right.
The term social distancing, and I've heard a couple of scientists say this, so I'm just repeating what I've heard others say, but it's so misleading because we've been more connected now than ever. So it's physical distancing, not social distancing.
Yeah.
we've been more socially active, I think, than ever.
Yeah.
Just home doing it.
Yeah.
Have you found that to play a role in the new music at all?
As far as
being connected, but being distant while connected.
Yeah. We just did a virtual tour, which was super interesting. We'd never done anything like that before. And, even though it was super awkward at first because we're so used to experiencing people and their energy and them singing the songs back, it kind of made me realize that I've kind of been selfish in the sense that I kind of depend on the energy of the crowd to dictate the show as opposed to cultivate the energy for yourself and give them something to be excited about. And it was kind of an eye-opener to me, how I can actually get excited about this without anybody else in this room, and that's going to translate way more. And it kind of got me re-excited about music in an interesting way. It wasn't about the gratification of the crowd. It wasn't about hearing them sing your songs back to you and stroking your ego. It was more about, fuck, I actually love doing this. I now I feel like I remember what it felt like back in the clubs when nobody was there to see me. I still am excited that I'm performing. So that was a bit of an eye opener in the sense that I've been busier than I've been in years, just like doing these and talking to friends. And I feel like I'm talking to people more than I did when I was traveling or just doing life as normal. So it's interesting, like you said, that it's more connected than ever, but very much not so at the same time,
Yeah. So my final question will be kind of summarize what the conversations have been like between management and promoters and band. Yeah. Yes, we're going to tour. We're going to tour. Oh, wait, we can't. No, we're going to tour. No, we can't. Yes, we are.
I think we wanted to, well, first of all, we definitely did not want to be the guinea pig band to go out there and ruin it for the world. So I think we just had in our mind that we were not going to do anything on the road until next year. And we want to be certain that, not only is our family's safety important, but our fan safety. And we want to make sure that we're not the cause of another situation like spring break or anything like that, and but yeah, we're very much wanting to be on the road. We're itching to do it, but I think it just it's forcing people to have to think of things differently and look at the safety of everyone involved. And we want people to be back to work as much as the next guy. These venues depend on artists like myself, and we depend on those venues. It's such a weird time in the entertainment. I don't know if it's ever been like this in the entertainment industry, especially the music industry. So it's hard to answer that question without being super vague, but our goal is to be out there in full force next year. Hopefully 2021 is a little kinder to us, and we can all move forward.
And is the release of the album, and I have it listed as Nothing Lasts Forever, that is the correct name?
I have no idea where that title came from. I saw that quoted in Billboard or something, and I'm like, where did that come from? I never gave anybody, and it's definitely not the album title. I don't even know where that came from. I don't know if he misunderstood me, but the record is far from done. So our goal is to have it out next year, and hope we would love to be able to be out and support it, in person as well. So there's a lot that's going on right now. We're getting ready to gear up to shoot another video soon. So if anything, I feel like this pandemic has given us plenty time to create the true vision that we've wanted for this record, and not only in the music but in the visuals and the videos, and there's other stuff to come as well that I got brewing in the Daughtry stew over here, but that'll all be disclosed when it's ready. But exciting times to come. I'm excited about it.
Fair enough. So
good to talk to you, man. Thank you so much. Stay well and healthy. Hopefully we'll see you in Detroit next year in person. We can come by the studio and play some acoustic for you or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to. Once
the touring season starts, it's going to be relentless up for everybody.
Oh, man. We're going to be kind of hoping for some downtime at that point.
Fantastic.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
Be well. Take care.
Appreciate you. And
Absolutely.
We'll talk soon. Thanks.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right. Ciao.